And a winter storm spanning 2,000 miles impacting millions of Americans. It is hitting southeast Texas right now. First it was the rain, now there's ice, and we are keeping our eyes on the power and taking a look now at the Entergy map. So far, just under 200 customers in Tyler County without power right now. In Jasper County, it's only about 70 that are affected. And in Newton County, we are looking about 46. There's more than 700 workers stationed in Texas in case of outages. Thanks for joining us this morning on 12 News Plus. I'm Mark Armstrong. We're going to be here throughout the morning with the latest updates on the forecast and conditions. But first, meteorologist Jeff Gerber is joining us. Jeff, what's looking out right now?
Well, we've been waiting all night for those temperatures, especially up in the lakes area, to drop below the freezing mark. And we've seen that as we've gone through the overnight hours. You can see Woodville right now about 30, Jasper's at 30, Kirbyville showing about 32. And then we get above the freezing mark, at or above the freezing mark here in the triangle. So as we look at radar, you can see the mix here in the pink. And then you can also see just rain here around the triangle. We're already starting to see some sleet falling up in Jasper, along with some freezing rain also over towards Tyler County and then over into northern parts of Newton County as you get farther south. Like I said, it's just a rain, and at this point it looks like chances of us seeing some of that maybe sleet mixed with freezing rain, at least here in the triangle, look fairly slim. So we'll continue to watch it. Here's what it looks like right now in Jasper, and look at this roadway. This is mainly just sleet that has fallen and accumulated on the roadway there. Over in the grass also, you can see some of that ice building up just a little bit. Excuse me. If you're trying to get out and drive around in the lakes area, I would not encourage it. Best is to stay in for this morning, at least this afternoon. We'll still see some of this ice and freezing rain around because temperatures will not probably get back to freezing, if that, just maybe to freezing. But right now you can see the roadways are looking pretty treacherous, and we're not even talking about elevated surfaces. This is the regular roadway where we're seeing some of that ice building up a little bit, some of that sleet. So it would be very tough to get around if you try to get out this morning and go somewhere up towards the Jasper area. Weather headlines: freezing rain this morning, mainly in the lakes, and then that precipitation is going to end about mid-morning, around 8 o'clock or so. Monday and Tuesday, that's where we're going to have to deal with those hard freezes we've been talking about. So once again, till about 8 o'clock. Accumulations right now, we're looking maybe about the 3/10 of an inch of some ice accumulating up towards the Lake Sour area, and then we'll deal with those colder temperatures. Here are the watches and warnings we have out there right now. Really, we just have an ice storm warning that includes pretty much everywhere except for Orange and Jefferson County. So it includes Hardin, Tyler, Jasper, and Newton counties. And then we have a winter weather advisory here in the northern end of Jefferson County and over towards Orange County, with the possibility of maybe some of that freezing precipitation coming down here and just some of those cold temperatures out there. Both of these go until 6 o'clock for tonight. Potential ice accumulations for this morning, upwards, like I said, maybe 3/10 of an inch or so, maybe even a little bit more than that, up towards the lakes area, everywhere you see in red here. And then 1/4 of an inch to 1/10 of an inch, maybe Koontz, Buna, over into southwest Louisiana. Lumberton, you might get up to maybe 1/10 of an inch, and then down towards the triangle here. We're not expecting very little, if maybe zero amount as far as freezing rain or sleet here. We might see a little bit, but the bulk of it, you can see by this map, is going to be definitely well to our north of the triangle, up in the lakes area, that 190 corridor, and just below, that's where you can pick up some of that thicker ice for this morning. So travel is very much discouraged, and we'll have to wait and see. We still probably have rain and freezing rain coming down through about mid-morning or so. Once again, here in the triangle, won't see too much of that. It's really places like Woodville, Comanelle, Burkeville, Newton, even Kirbyville could see some buildup of ice, so we could see some power outages. And like I said, roadways are going to be pretty slippery out there. Here is a look at our freezing rain and the impacts. Once again, up towards the lakes, ice storm warning. We're already seeing some power outages there. As you get a little bit farther south, we're talking about places like maybe Koontz over towards Silsbee, maybe seeing pretty slick out there, and then slippery roads possibly here just north of the triangle if we get a little bit to come down here, but we're really not expecting much here in the triangle. We're going to look at a forecast for you coming up in a little bit. We're not only going to be talking about the ice today, but we're going to be talking about also the cold temperatures coming in for tonight, and then again as we head towards Tuesday morning, well below freezing, where you need to take precautions. This morning, like I said, if you're up in the lakes area, really shouldn't be out there traveling around. And if you're here in the triangle, it's okay to drive. But that freezing line will be coming close this morning, and it is pretty wet out there. We've had some pretty heavy downpours coming in, and I wouldn't be out on the roads either, even if in the triangle here this morning. It's just cold and wet. If you don't need to be out there, probably a good idea not to be. Now, here's temperatures once again. We're at about 30 in Jasper, 30 in Woodville, 32 in Kirbyville. So you're right on that line where things are starting to freeze a little bit. And then as you get down here around the triangle, we're staying pretty much above the freezing mark. If we see this precipitation hold in there till a little bit later on, there might be a little bit of frozen precipitation, but we're not expecting a whole lot. And then you can see the back edge right here out towards central Texas. That's going to be coming through about, say, 7 to 8 o'clock for this morning. And the precipitation gets out of here, and we just have to deal with the cold. Like I said, we'll be coming up here in a few minutes, and we'll give you a complete forecast for tonight and through the next 7 days.
All right, Jeff, and now's the time to be inside and off the roads, whether you're in your home or at a warming shelter across the 409. But if you must travel and need to hit the streets for anything, well, we are monitoring those this morning. Let's go ahead and check in with 12 News reporter Cameron Burchett. She's in the storm tracker right now, riding around southeast Texas to track the conditions. Cam, I think you're somewhere between Kountze and Lumberton right now. Tell us how it looks out there.
Mark, you'd be right. Currently, just as you mentioned, we're out checking those weather conditions because of this wintry weather storm we have moving into our area. And so far, what we've seen this morning is just a little bit of slight on and off rain as we begin to head out of Lumberton and into Kountze. But for right now, we're inside Hardin County where there's been a little bit of slight on and off rain. We're currently on LHS Drive in Lumberton, like we're heading towards Kountze. Again, some slight rain in some spots coming from Beaumont through Lumberton on LHS Drive. The conditions we've seen so far this morning aren't anything we're not used to here in southeast Texas, just a little bit of rain. Taking a look outside of our exterior camera, you can see it right there for yourself, just a little bit of rain. As far as we know right now for Kountze and inside of Hardin County, from where we are right now, what we've seen from the roads, we haven't seen any downed power lines or trees that are blocking roadways this morning, with the time currently being 5:07. However, that does not mean it's clear to drive today just because you don't see ice on the roads. We're still seeing things like slight pooling on the side of the roads as well, which can just be as dangerous. We're expected to still see plenty more rain today, so if you're at home and don't necessarily have to get out today, just stay put, have a cozy day in, and prop your feet up. However, our neighbors in northern Hardin County, think Buna, Silsbee, Kountze, those folks could possibly see some of that ice on those roads today as they're up there just closer to northern Jasper and Newton County, where their folks are definitely going to expect to see some ice on those roadways today. But again, we know some folks might not be able to be off of the roads this morning, and it can't always be the case. Again, we're on 69, like we're heading towards Kountze. Again, little bit of slight rain that you're seeing right there on the screen, currently in Hardin County, which does have a disaster declaration along with other southeast Texas counties like Jefferson, Orange, Tyler, and Jasper. But again, the one thing of utmost importance today is that you need to stay off the roads and that you definitely need to exercise caution if you get out on them today. We're going to continue to check in with you all morning long with these road conditions. We're going to be checking in with Lumberton, Kountze, Silsbee, around those areas this morning. So we'll be sure to keep you updated with all the information on road conditions. Hey, Mark, anything else on your mind?
I just want you guys to stay warm and stay safe out there, Cameron. And we're going to continue to check in with you. Thank you so much. Now let's go ahead and take a live look now. We're looking at Jasper right here. That's where you're seeing some of that freezing precipitation accumulating there on the roads. A lot of school districts like Beaumont ISD, they have already announced closures as well in anticipation for tomorrow. You'll see a list of those schools rolling at the bottom of your screen, but you can also scan this QR code right here to download our app or even text the word closures to 409-838-1212 for that full list. Now, we've been updating throughout the week. Let's go ahead and take another look at the forecast. Jeff?
And right now we're going to go back to the map. We're looking at temperatures across the area. You can see below freezing, Woodville, Jasper at 30, right at about freezing at Kirbyville. And then we're just above the freezing mark here into the triangle. So we're getting rain here. Radar's trying to estimate where maybe some of the ice is. That's where they show the pink. And they have that as far south as maybe down around Kountze or so, well, even farther than that. But really, it looks like north of Kountze, say around Kirbyville, north of there, that's where we're starting to see the sleet and freezing rain starting to accumulate. That's where you really need to stay off the roads if you can for this morning. Not expecting it to do this all day long. The back edge is right out here towards College Station. That's going to be sliding through probably around 8 o'clock for this morning. precipitation will end. We'll just have to deal with the cold weather, especially later on tonight and into tomorrow morning and Tuesday morning as well. Here's Futurecast, and it shows rain mainly here around the triangle throughout the morning. The ice stays north of us, and about 8 o'clock, most of it should move out of here. Here's 9 o'clock. It moves out as we're near the freezing mark. And then watch what happens to the temperatures as we go through the day. They really don't move much at all, staying below freezing up towards the lake. So whatever you have on the ground as far as the sleet and the freezing rain, that'll stay in place. So driving not encouraged throughout the day in the lakes area. And then down here around the triangle, we should be above freezing. So if you need to get out this afternoon, I think we'll be okay with that. It's just going to be kind of wet out there for the afternoon and in towards this evening. Here's a look forecast for today. Cloudy, cold, windy out there. We'll see 100% chance of freezing rain up towards the lakes. I think down maybe even towards inland southeast Texas. Maybe a slight chance of freezing rain over the next couple hours in the triangle. And generally it's just going to be a rain, it looks like right now. And then tonight we're looking at those temperatures falling back down into the teens and 20s. Maybe teens up towards the lakes there, and we'll be lower 20s here around the triangle. So it's going to be a hard freeze. It's one of those nights where you got to do a little dripping of the faucets going into tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow we'll get up above the freezing mark. You can stop, and then we'll see another morning like this as we head towards Tuesday morning. So it's going to be another hard freeze heading into Tuesday. So even though we get the precipitation out here today, we're still going to be dealing with this winter weather through the next few days. Let's check your 7-day forecast, and you can see today good coverage of rain, freezing rain up towards the lakes. By the afternoon, at least here in the triangle, we'll be around 34. And then there's that cold morning on Monday. Nice thing is we'll get up to about 40 on Monday afternoon. The lakes area will be above freezing Monday afternoon. So that's when all the freezing rain or sleet that we had this morning should start to melt off. You'll be able to get out and do whatever. And then another cold morning on Tuesday. If there's any type of precipitation still left on the ground, some puddling or something like that, that would freeze as we did down into the teens. And then we'll be back up into the 40s for Tuesday. So that all melts away, and then we don't have to worry about those freezing temperatures anymore through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We'll see temperatures up there into the 50s. Now it will be cold. We will see temperatures below freezing, but all the mess will be out of here, and we don't have to worry about anything freezing over. We don't have any precipitation falling. Now on Friday we do see a 40% chance of some showers, but that will be in and out before we even get close to the freezing mark. So it's just going to be rain on Friday, and then Saturday after a cold morning we'll see temperatures down into the lower 40s there. So we just get past really Tuesday morning, things will be looking a lot better for us.
This is looking a whole lot different than that big freeze that we saw last year there, Jeff. I imagine that, you know, it sounds like that by tomorrow night even, as you were just saying, a lot of that frozen precipitation could be off the roads, although some of it could refreeze if any of it lingers into Tuesday morning.
Yeah, but for the most part, I think most of it should be gone as we head towards tomorrow afternoon, and then we just have to deal with cold temperatures going into Tuesday morning. And there'll be some nights where we see freezing temperatures later on this week, but we don't have to deal with the precipitation mixed with it.
Up in the lakes, for sure. That's where a lot of this freezing precipitation, as you've been saying here all morning, is hitting. Down here in the Golden Triangle, still a little bit treacherous because we've got that water on the roads, but just not quite the same.
Yeah, it's just cold and rainy down here. Like I said, some of that freezing rain and sleet could make it as far south as maybe to Lumberton. But right now it doesn't look like it's going to make it to the Triangle. We're going to be continuing to watch it throughout the morning. We'll continue to update you. Right now, the biggest problems is that 190 corridor up there in the lakes where we're starting to see that sleet and that freezing rain accumulate.
Could you potentially still get patches that get a little icy down here in the Golden Triangle if it gets cold enough and it gets a little bit of ponding or something?
Yeah, there's definitely potential for that. So that's what we're really trying to watch this morning. See how far that stuff comes.
Okay, well thank you so much, Jeff. We know you're going to stay on top of it.
For sure.
And grab your phones now. Download our 12 News Plus app. You can take it with you anywhere that you need to be today. We're going to be live on 12 News Plus throughout the morning with all these weather updates. You can catch us at the top of the hour all the way to noon, streaming here exclusively on 12 News Plus.